hello, and good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Happy Monday. And I do hope that you're well. I'm fine. I have I have some updates for anyone who was around last week. I've got some updates for you, but first of all, let me say hi to who's in chat at the moment. Joe, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? Since the artwork for today is somewhat peripherally Silksong related, I have put up just a little notice to not post spoilers. It's been out for less than a week, and I'm not that far into it. There's a good chance there might be people in chat who aren't that far into it, and we just want to keep this a safe place for people who don't want to be spoiled for what potentially lies ahead for them in the game. Therefore, please keep spoilers to yourself. And I've also said no backseating, but to be honest, we're painting today, but backseating also applies to artwork. If you have ideas about the artwork, and I have not, specifically solicited ideas for the artwork, I probably have ideas of my own, and if you want to do things with your art ideas, I wholeheartedly encourage you to go ahead and do those yourself. That's the joy of art. You can just do that. But backseat arting generally doesn't go very well for me, so I will ask you if I'm genuinely unsure about something, and I will make it very clear that this is not a rhetorical question, because a lot of the time, if I ask a question out loud about my artwork, I'm asking myself, I know, but I'll put up a poll or something if I need an art opinion from chat. Anyways, so that's that. No spoilers, no backseating. I think we'll be fine. I think you all know how to comport yourselves in streams at this point, but just in case, because it is a brand new game, want to put it out there for anyone who's new, yada yada yada, and doesn't know. Hello, Joe. Hello, Sen. How are you both doing? It's lovely to see you, and welcome on in. Joe says, have you played more? Are you only playing on stream, and how are you coping? I have played a few hours off stream, so the nice thing about the game is that it allows you multiple save files. So I made a first save file when I downloaded the game to make sure it was actually functional, and would run on both of my machines, my stream machine, and then actually both of my machines are stream machines. One of them is my husband's PC, which I use to stream games, and the other one is my laptop, which is here, which I use to stream artwork from my studio. Anywho, it runs on both, which is great. But I needed to start a save to just practice, but I wanted to, I think I got about 4 minutes into that one before I actually did the Silksong stream. So I was going in pretty blind at that point. I have played a little bit off stream in my off stream save. More or less, I've caught up to where I ended up in game and have gone a little bit further than that. I'm also aware of the fact that generally during the week, I'm not going to have that much time to sit down, because if I start playing this game, I'm going to want to be playing it for at least an hour at a time, right? I don't have a lot of time to do that, so chances are I will kind of be in a continuous state of catching up to myself in my stream save versus my off-stream save. So I'll still be encountering pleasant surprises on stream, it's fair to say, and that's fine. That's good, actually. I'm happy with that. But if I were only playing it for 2 to 3 hours a week, I think I would be so sad, because it is a very fun and pleasant experience. But that being said, I also just don't really actually have that much time to sit down and devote that much time to just playing a video game during the week, or having the brain to do that at the end of a long work day, that kind of thing. So yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm playing it like a 40-year-old who has other obligations and responsibilities in their life. Oh, no. But anyways. But yeah, that's how I'm doing. Other than that, you may remember from last week that I talked about I was having to have some dental work done, and I was feeling quite wary about that, and also aware of the fact that it was going to cost me a pretty substantial chunk of change. By the way, I did update my shop last week. There's some really cute stuff in there, including some limited edition Hollow Knight outprints and other stuff if Hollow Knight isn't your bag. I do a lot of things. They're all there. Tell your friends. I'd like to be able to pay the bills. Thank you. Anyways, it's fine. But hello, Aoife. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you, and welcome on in. I hope you're well. But yeah, so I was supposed to be having dental work done on Friday. If you're in Discord, you may have seen that did not happen on Friday. I got to the dentist's office and they had somehow lost my booking. I know they had my booking because they had sent me a text message while I was standing at the reception desk booking it in the first place. For, you know, like, your appointment is confirmed for this date and time with this doctor. So they've booked in another one, but I didn't get it done that day because there was just some other person in that time slot, and they didn't have any other appointments available until like 2.5 weeks from now. So I have to live with this tooth having a terrible time still. And it begs the question, like, how are you so bad at you have very few jobs here, you know? Maintain people's teeth, make appointments for people to maintain their teeth. That's about it. I don't want to be mean because I assume everyone there is trying their best, but like, what the hell? How does this happen? Also, took the psychic damage of the first, you know, when you go for like any kind of medical appointment, usually the first thing that they ask to search up your appointment is your date of birth. So I start giving my date of birth, and you know, I'm like 25th May 1984. That's my birthday, and the lady, she's typing it in, and I guess she hadn't fully heard me, so she was like, sorry, 2000 and... Ma'am, do I look under 25 to you? I have reached, you know, and like the thing is, you're like, oh, she thinks you look under 25, like that's flattering, right? Not when you're over 40, it isn't. I don't want to look under 25. What the hell? Young lady, we are not peers. Anyways, Sam says, if you need a root canal, that is an emergency. That really is maddening. I am losing my mubbles about it just a little bit, because you're right. It is an emergency. The dentist said you're going to want to get that booked in as soon as possible. And the as soon as possible when I got it booked in the first place was a month away from when I initially got it looked at. And then I had to wait another... So basically, as soon as possible has become 2 months. Like, what the hell? What the hell? I hate it. Anyways, Leaky, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you, and welcome on in. Despite the chatter going on right now, I can assure you I'm actually in pretty good spirits right now. So at least that's a something. I hope people recognize that even though this is technically Hollow Knight and Silksong fan art, that you can enjoy this stream without giving a fig about those two games. 'Cause this is also just a little... This is not representative of the game in any way, shape, or form. This is just a little medieval gremlin. And quite frankly, I love her, and I hope you do too. Anyways. Also, I've been looking at this lettering for a while. Senses in the style of medieval marginalia that are just magnificent little guys all the time. I love the little guys. But at least we know that the art isn't a spoiler, says Leaky. That is correct, because it is a spoiler-free stream. Hopefully the message is still pinned. I feel like the H is, like, larger than the A, so I'm actually just gonna kind of just build out the A a little bit, so it's a little... if I just elongate these letters a smidge, is that gonna end up looking weird? I don't know, but I just felt like this one looked bigger than these other two letters, so I wanted to try and fix it a little bit. Like, my calligraphy, such as it is not, it doesn't exist, is Garbo, so, you know, just adding a little height to them, I guess, to try and fix it, because it was gonna bother me, if I didn't. Leaky says, my ADHD is really struggling with the request to not make up fake spoilers. I will genuinely have to time you out if you do that, Leaky. I know. I think a lot of people, this is a very let's take the mick out of the streamer kind of stream sometimes, and I love you all, but I have to be a little draconian in the nicest possible way about this. Because it's not just for me, it is for anyone in chat who wants to play the game, hasn't yet. hasn't gotten very far, because like even if like if someone posts an obvious Elfako, like, oh, the bit where, I'm not even going to give an example because that's too much, I think. But even if someone put like a super obvious Fako that's something that would never happen, if I allow that, that opens the door for people who maybe, you know, don't realize that, like, you know, we need to keep these things in check here, to say something that, because I haven't played the game and my mod slash spouse does not play this style of game at all, we don't know whether or not the fake spoilers is true or not. So we have to treat anything that could conceivably be a spoiler, if it's presented in that way, equally. And so that means, like, even if you make something that you think is the most obviously egregiously fake comment, it's no. There's some things we have to just choose not to joke about. You can do it inside your own head. You can write it down on a piece of paper and then throw it into the sea, but you cannot post it in this stream. Thank you. Also, there is a Skong channel in the Discord, if anyone has been playing and wants to participate in that. I've asked people to put, like, you know, sort of major spoilers behind a spoiler tag in the Discord as well. So if you're not very far in, you don't have to worry about seeing things that are maybe beyond where you are in your gameplay. But you can hang out and chat about it in there as well, in a somewhat freer way. Anywho, there will be spoilers in my gameplay streams, but only spoilers as far as where we are in the game at the time. So again, be mindful of that, but there will be none today. So there you go. Anywho, Joe says you could make up spoilers about Sammy. Okay, how prescriptive do I have to be about the rules? At some point, I feel like we can just sort of paint things with very broad brush strokes, and you'll understand. I don't think it's possible to spoiler. I don't think it's possible to spoiler a human being who exists in real life. Because I don't have a storyline that's been... okay, so just putting this out there, I don't personally believe in predestination. I am not a Calvinist? I hate Calvinism. Calvinism is not my friend. Don't get me started on Calvinism, we'll be here all day. But anyways, I do not believe that my future is predestined. Therefore, you cannot post spoilers. You can post speculation about my future, but I'd rather you didn't. And I guess you could try to predict my future if you think that you're able to do that, but I'd rather you didn't do that either, because that's creepy. It's just, you know, listen. I heard Sammy and Dave do smooching. When Sammy says they're just going to say hello, this is how we say hello to each other, with kisses, because we're in love and we're married and we're romantical about it, okay? It's gross and I love it. Oh no, your M key is broken. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Joe. That sucks. I hope you're able to get it sorted. Leaky says, contrary to the occasional Instagram post, Sammy is just two disembodied hams. Yeah, this is... Do I need to change my PNG tuber to just a pair of hands? Because y'all have seen how I draw hands. It would just be a pair of mittens, and I feel like that would be creepy. So I'm gonna not do that. Joe, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Sledge and I are gosh darn cutie patooties, but I think what you mean to say is that you are a cute patoot. And don't you forget it. So there. Okay, I think we may be delving into, like, just intense misuse of the word spoiler here. So before we get any further, let's move on, shall we? I've forgotten to re-engage a couple of art stream specific commands, so I've put those back. So if you wanted to use your channel points for a terrible drawing, please be nice to me. Or an affirmation, you can do that now. They were meant to be enabled earlier. I'm just stupid. Remembered to do it, got distracted, and then forgot to do it. So there you go. Anyways. Leaky says, I confirm that Sammy's statement about Joe. This is true. Yes, indeed. Oh, guess what? Look, another cute patoot in the chat. There's so many of you. Can you believe to learn? Anyways, please enjoy this ice cube filled beverage stirring ASMR. Because I made myself a strawberry tea. And it's on ice. And I needed to stir it up. Anyways, I also have a coffee. This is a delicious coffee. I made this on the AeroPress. And it is, I believe the beans are from Tanzania, and they were roasted in the Netherlands. It's very nice, light fruit. I want to see the ice cubes, says Joe. Hold up. Wait a minute. There you go. Cube cam. Did you enjoy that? Does that need to be a segment of stream? I don't think it does. I don't think that's very interesting. We're abusing the word spoiler like everyone does with I feel like there's a lot of words that have gone through like definition rot in the last 5 to 10 years. And staycation is absolutely one of the bees in my bonnet, Leaky. I think it came about of the whole like international travel restrictions around like the panini, if memory serves. Because staycation has always meant, like, I'm taking time off of, you know, sort of my usual obligations, and I'm just going to stay, but I'm not going anywhere on vacation. I'm just going to stay at home and maybe, you know, like, go do things, or, you know, sort of hang out in my garden, or, you know, like, just take myself out for a coffee in the town or city I live in, go for walks, that kind of stuff. You're, you know, like, maybe I'm finally painting my second bedroom, you know, that kind of thing. That's a staycation. And then at some point, staycation, and I think this is to do with the panini because people were taking more holidays within, certainly at least here in the UK, people were taking more holidays within the UK because of international travel was a no-no. So people were, you know, it's like, oh, I'm just renting like a house in Cornwall, or I'm going to go stay at an Airbnb on, you know, sort of the Welsh coast, or I'm going to Norfolk for a few days, that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, but that's just a holiday. The only difference between that and a holiday where you went to, like, Majorca or Serbia or Lithuania is that you didn't have to queue up and show your passport. Like, that's the only difference. So what the nuts? That's, you know, like, I've always known a staycation to be a vacation where you stay at home, not where you stay in the country that you're already in. You know, I've always considered it a vacation if, say, like, you know, when my niece and nephew on my husband's side were younger, when they would come over and visit from Japan, like myself, my partner, the kids and their parents, and my parents-in-law, we would all sort of like bundle up and go stay in, you know, sort of a caravan type holiday park somewhere usually on a coastline, so we could go to the beach and do all kinds of things, and we would be there for the better part of a week, exploring the local area, eating fish and chips, all that kind of thing. That was a vacation. That was just because we were traveling from like Leicester to Cornwall doesn't mean it wasn't a vacation. It was a staycation when my spouse and I would just hang out in our house for a week, maybe go to the center of town and take ourselves out for a meal. Like, I really dislike that shift. I feel like the shift has primarily come from, like, marketers. I feel like it's because I see adverts about it. I don't know whether or not it is in common usage among people who aren't writing, like, advertising copy. I really don't. But that is a big one that really grinds my gears. Because no. Staycation equals me, my bed, and my book, says Joe. Precisely, my friend. Precisely. Thank you. You get it. You are correct. But yeah, it's definitely in that. There's other ones as well, I feel like. There's quite a few, actually. There's a lot of, I feel like we got into weird territory with words like parasociality and parasocial, and I was thinking about that earlier as well, that like we tend to associate like parasocial and parasociality as being like entirely like negative things. You can't have a parasocial. It's like, no, like everyone does to a certain extent if you engage with any media whatsoever, and like you do, even if it's just like the host of this show annoys me. There you go. Like that's one. You know, like it's whatever. But also I was thinking earlier about I don't sorry to jump around topics, but I've just got a lot of things in my brain apparently. I am gonna get my paints out so I can eventually start to paint. I am just using, I'm not gonna really use my palette at the moment because I'm not mixing this color with anything. I'm just using this red. I'm just straight up using this red, so I'm actually going to take my ricotta lid and just dump it over there because I don't need it for now. I'm going to get my brush out, and I'm just gonna pre-wet this little cavern of paint so that I have a little well effectively that I can kind of dip from. And I think that's probably going to be the most. That's what I was doing previously, and it seems to be the most effective way to do it, is to just kind of let that activate for a minute. And while that's activating, I was reminded earlier today of there was this very, very famous Twitter thread that this one person made, and I think I didn't see it until she reposted it onto Blue Sky, and it was this thing about like don't be a reply guy. And it was just like a list of ways that people, because she's a comedian, so she will post like a joke sometimes, and just listed all of the ways in which people will reply to her like jokes that are bad replies. And you know, like some of them I can absolutely get it, and some of them are kind of like there, and the list was so long and so comprehensive of ways that if you want to reply and say this thing, you just shouldn't say anything. That this kind of thing, I think possibly because if it's possible to be too self-aware, I might be too self-aware. I think this might be a side effect of the tism. But I'm very like, should I say the thing? No, I'm just gonna not say anything. Like all that, even when I shouldn't be like having to think about that at all. But when I see things like that, like, you know, sort of, oh, like you can't, you know, sort of the like, don't reply to this person like your friends. It's like, okay, so I don't know what's an appropriate thing to say then. I want to acknowledge the thing that they've said, but I genuinely don't see. I don't know what's an okay thing to say. Is what I'm taking away from this effectively, you do not interact with other people. And when the list is so long, I'm like, maybe you should just give a short list of the things it's okay to say so I know what it's okay to say. Because it genuinely feels like what you're saying is you do not want people engaging with you. And if that's the case, then okay, but also that's kind of a you thing, I assume. Because when I post things onto the internet, I would like people to talk with me and have a discussion about them most of the time. You know, sometimes that's not the case, and usually I try to make that clear. Or like if I've said something that seems quite like earnest.
Twitch user
you know,
Sammy Kelch.
Like don't be weird about it. Anyways, hello Sammy and welcome in, and hello Raiders. You've come in the middle of me having like way too many thoughts. So that's probably for the best. Break me out of it. Hello and welcome. It's lovely to see you. Sammy Ann, how was your stream? Welcome in Lugia. Welcome in Dickman. It's lovely to see you. How are you doing? Welcome on in. Hello. Hi, Sammy Ann. How was your stream? What'd you get up to today? We are attempting to create something inspired by a kind of medieval manuscript page. As you can see, I'm deeply intimidated by this concept now that I've begun, and it's really hard. But we're trying. And it's wonderful to see you. Welcome in. For anyone who's new here, hello. Let me get a shout out for Sammy Ann while I'm at it. My name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and most Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays and occasionally on a Thursday as well if I'm feeling extra crispy. It seems we always come in at just the right time, says Kindred. You are here exactly when you mean to be, and I love that. Hello and welcome in. There we go. Shout out for Sammy Ann. If you're not following Sammy Ann, please, please, please consider doing that. A fellow Canadian, a very, very, very skilled artist, and a wonderful human being to boot, if I do say so myself, with fantastic interests and topics of artwork. So, yeah, go do that. Anyways, Sammy Ann says we were working on NES game card sketches. Heck yeah. And we'll be doing Hornet fan art on Wednesday. Hell
Attention.
yeah.
Twitch user Sammy
Choppers.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome in, Jam and friends. It's lovely to see you. Hello. I've just had a raid, and I was in the middle of, I was ranting a lot today, so there may be some verbose times in our future. But hi everybody, welcome and hello to chat. Stop scrolling. Hello Tiles. Hello Maggie. Hello Kirsty. Shah. Hello. So much Shah. Hello Jam. Hello Spudgers. Hello friends. Hello Rex. Hello Ibis. It's wonderful to see y'all. Welcome on in. Hello Casa. Hello Kismet. How y'all doing? Jam, how was your stream? What'd you get up to today? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. And as always, it's 40 minutes into the stream. Of course, we haven't actually painted yet. Thanks. Way to call me out. Oh no. Anyways, what were y'all up to today? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Hello, friends. If I may be so bold as to introduce myself, if anyone has not met me before, hello. My name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. My art doesn't normally look this medieval, but I'm trying something. Yeah. I do cozy game streams on Fridays and every once in a while on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra spicy. Yeah, I'm attempting to paint what I hope will kind of look like a medieval manuscript with inexplicably a little hornet in the middle of it, because why not? We're causing gentle chaos today, says Joe. Generally being great at distracting Sammy. You know what? You're doing amazing, chat. Genuinely, I love you. Stream was good. Pretended to do art while I had deep talks. We love to hear it. We love to see it. And we love to see you. But hello. As always, for the streamers who just rated in, if you have any artworks that you would like to share with the chat, feel free to whisper a link in my direction, or I can just go creep on your social medias if you want. If you want, I would love to do that also. In the meantime, let me get a shout out for James B. Barrow. If you like bees, if you like wonderful artwork, and if you like really genuinely super engaging conversation that I always get sucked into when I'm supposed to be working on tasks, go give Jam a follow. How's about I drop the full page of Evolutions on me, says Sammy Ann. Hell yeah, I would love to share it with chat. If you want to creep on my socials, you can creep on my socials, says Jam. I will, thank you. For anyone who wants to know what my art normally looks like, it doesn't normally look like this. I mean, it kind of normally looks like this. I'm realizing as I'm pulling up the most recent thing that I posted on my own Instagram, which looks a little bit like, it looks a little bit like nothing, because once again, I can never get it to just actually show. Okay, display. Ta-da! It's Hornet. So last year I was in Canada for my birthday, and I noticed while I was riding the TTC in Toronto that there is a stop at Shaw Street. And guess who I thought of? And that's why this happened. I'm normal. Anyways, yeah, I do watercolors. Sometimes they look like that. Yep. And today we are working on an attempt at a medieval manuscript. I'm having a very, very fun time doing it. I hid a tiny little medieval tick-tick in the corner, which will not come into focus. I'm still getting used to this camera is new. I'm still getting used to it. There's a tiny medieval tick-tick in the corner, and I hope it'll turn out good. Shaw Street. Like, how could I not? How could I not paint Hornet getting off the TTC at Shaw Street? Like, come on. It was just, it was meant to be. You know, it was 100% meant to be. It was a very fun piece to do as well. But anywho, Um, oh, goodness gracious. Um, goodness and indeed gracious. I need to sip my beverage. That's what I need to do. Anyways, but yeah, how's everybody doing? It's lovely to see y'all. I do make art about things other than Hollow Knight and Silksong. I should probably clarify. Though I do. Ooh, if anyone's come in recently and hasn't seen the emotes that I made last week, I should share with you the emotes that I made last week real quick. Where did they go? Where did they go? Where's my thing? Okay, one moment. Bear with. Oh no, my and okay. I have popped 2 emotes in the chat. They are both obviously Silksong related. Kismet says, "Aloha, I absolutely, positively love where the art is going so far. Very exciting. I am so nervous. I'm so nervous about this piece. I really don't want to bork it up, and I'm very afraid that I will." So, thoughts and prayers very much appreciated at this point, because oh no. Anyways, let me, hopefully, maybe, just a smidgen, just a squizzle, have a look at a jam art, because jam art's real pretty and is doing some really lovely things with florality at the moment that I absolutely love. Please, yay! You can see it. It worked. Yay! Anyways, please enjoy the jam art. Jams are genuinely, like, your flower pieces are so good. They're so lovely and just calm and pretty and nice, and I like to look at them. And I like watching them get painted also. It's a wonderful vibe. You should check out. Jam is a very, very, very skilled artist. Very cool, very good. And there's a jam. Anyways, but yes, what's everyone up to this week? How are your weeks going? I hope you've got fun stuff coming up. I was ranting earlier about the nature of staycation and how that word has shifted in its definitions in ways that make me grumpy. Because I think a staycation has always meant, like, you're taking time off but you're just at home. But it has been shunted into meaning, like, oh, I don't even know, like, what is it? Like, you're just going on holiday but you're staying in the same country. And it's just, no. Sammy Ann says that Jam's acrylics are very buttery looking for acrylic. I agree. I think they're gorgeous. That is a whole realm of, like, painting that is sorcery to me. And I love it. I'm just such a watercolor baby. It's the thing I know how to do. Anyways, but yeah, can we talk about paninis instead? Ooh, Sammy Ann has whispered me a link. Hell yeah, thank you. Let's go take a look at it. Let's go take a look at what Sammy Ann's been up to, because Sammy Ann has been working on a beautiful set of evolutions. If you are familiar with the Pokemans, if you're not familiar with the Pokemans, well, you should, because they're delightful. Let me see. Can I get the link to? Yes, I can get the link to do the thing. Okay, good. I'm trying to vamp while I get this up in the background. But yeah, Eevee is a very special Pokemon because they evolve into a bunch of different types of Pokemon, which, as far as I know, is super, super rare. So let's get another shout out for Sammy Ann as well. It would help if I cannot spell and type and speak other words at the same time. It is basically impossible for me. My brain just melts trying to do it. Yay, you can see it. Okay. There is so much loveliness going on here that I feel like I need to zoom in and, like, get a closer look at all of it, because, like, Look at the details on these are so lovely. I think they're so nice. I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going to try and remember the names of all of them. This is. It's Flareon is the fire one, I think. With these amazing flowers. This beautiful. Jolteon. And this is Leafeon, I can tell because it's full of leaves. And they've got like the leaf detail on the tail as well. I love this one. I think this is so nice with like the fern fronds and stuff. That is heckin' cool. And then we have look at all the details of this. There's so much going on. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. This is okay. I've officially lost the ability to remember what the names of all of them. Oh no, lovely monsters. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. This is I want to say this is Vaporeon, maybe. The little lily pads and all the seaweed. It's so cute. And this wave is gorgeous. I love the way you've done like the watery texture on that. That's so good. And then Glaceon. Yes? Maybe? Maybe. I hope so. Anyways, I'm trying to know things about Pokemon, but I'm very bad at it, even though I've played an entire Pokemon game, and I liked it a lot. And then this is Eevee in the middle. I know that. Eevee was one of my nephew's favorites when he was younger. I don't know if it still is, because, you know, he's like 13 now, so he's... who knows where his interests are at the moment. I know he's really into history, which is very cool. But that's Eevee, which is really cool. I'm gonna give little scratches, because you're such a good little Pokemon. Anyways, this is... No! Why is their name gone? I know what their name is because they're my favorite because they're the Trans Pride one. Transeon is what it should be. Sylveon, that's it. Jeez, I can't believe it took me so long to remember Sylveon. I'm so embarrassed. Trans Pride Eevee, says Samia. That should be their name. They're the Trans Pride Eevee. That's the important thing. And then... Oh, Espeon and Umbreon. Did I do it? Also incredibly beautiful. Just the amount of work, and I love the mushroom theme on this one. That is so heckin' cool. Anyways, thank you so much for sharing this. It is an incredible piece, and you should be very proud. So, yeah, thank you for that. Did I get all of them right? Someone in chat, please tell. I got it! Sammy, did I gotta catch them all? Did I gotta catch them all? Yay! Oh, so silly. Why are all parts of these so wonderful, lovely work? Oh, yeah. I love to see it. Right, we've got some translations. I'm assuming these are the German names for the Eevees. Eevee is, where did it go? Is Evoli. And Vaporeon is Aquana. Jolteon is Blitzer. Flareon is Flammera. Leafeon is Foliperba. Okay. Espeon is Psyana. Nice. Umbreon is Nachtara. Oh, nice. Okay. Glaceon is Glaciola. And Sylveon is Felinara. Cute. Jam is lurking. Hope this continues wonderfully. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you again for the raid. I very much appreciate it. It's lovely to see you as always. I hope you have a wonderful post-stream decompression session, my friend. And have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you again. Cassa says, I maintain that Mimikyu is the neurodivergent coded Pokemon. Honestly, like, I feel that completely. I feel like Mimikyu feels pretty relatable to me. Like, I don't know what is under this Pokemon costume. I don't know what is under this, like, Pikachu smock that I'm wearing. I'm normal. Please, if you have to perceive me, please perceive me as a Pikachu. Anyways, Nacht is night in German, says Sen. Thank you for the German lesson. Danke. So I know all the German ones and only half the English ones. Hell yeah. Also, a lovely art. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna try and actually put some paint down now, which I know is wild, considering that this is an art stream. You're not supposed to paint during an art stream. Has masked to go outside, says Casa. Copies someone popular to make friends. Oh my god, that genuinely sounds like... That sounds like way too much of my early life. Like, way too much. The only reason I don't do that anymore is that I have fully lost the ability. That is a skill that I have, that I don't think I'll ever get back. Thank you for the show. Thank you for the show, Mira. I'm just gonna... There we go. Yay, the painting's done, everybody. Thank you for the show, Mira. Much appreciated. Now I don't have to finish the painting because it's done. So, I love that. I'm just gonna rest on my laurels and take a nice sip of coffee. Mmm. Delicious. Anywho, I got jump scared by the shot. I'm sorry, Sammy Ann. Can accidentally be creepy and doesn't go out much, says Casa. Oh my god, I really am Mimikyu. Oh no. Oh no. And copy Psyduck at the end of the day when the social battery is spent. Psyduck, yeah, relatable. I also have a headache and want to fall over. Please perceive me as Pikachu, says Son. I think that's just my fiance. Aww. Appreciate
Domo.
Mara, thank you very much for the Doma. Very appreciated. It's our very best friend. I feel like that would... You know, oh man, the Dung Defender would make a great subject for, like, a medieval painting. They have like, the perfect little guy energy for it, I think. Aw, jeez. I'm glad everyone understood my TED Talk, says Cassie. Your TED Talk was perfect. Listen. I spent a portion of earlier today thinking about, and talking, in fact, about someone whose opinion I vehemently disagreed with, because they had said, there was a poll going around Tumblr of, like, what the best bad episodes of Star Trek were across, I guess, like, all of the series, or at least as far into the present day as, like, Enterprise, so, you know, like, 20 years ago. But someone mentioned an episode as it should have been on the list, and I was like, what? I'm sorry, what are you that is one of the best episodes. And so I took to Blue Sky being like, please tell me I'm not the only one who genuinely thinks that that's a really good episode. And it turns out that a lot of people, everyone agrees with me and no one agrees with that person. So it's not often that I have the popular opinion and that my take is not the hot take, but everyone agrees with me on that. In case you're wondering, it's the Voyager episode, The Thaw. It's very, very, very good. Anyways, Sammy says, lunch awakes. I will return to Art Jam post-stream decompress. Hell yeah. Have a lovely decompression session and a wonderful lunch. Love that for you. And thank you again for the raid. I really appreciate it. Sudden Vindication says, Kismet feels real good. Oh my goodness. Kobe says Sammy famously loves the episode with the super fast salamanders. Listen. Threshold is genuinely one of the worst pieces of television that I've ever seen. And I hate it, but also I love it. It's not my favorite. I don't think it's the best bad episode. My personal best bad episode is Move Along Home from Deep Space Nine. I love that episode. It's terrible and it's great. It's so goofy. Threshold is super bad. And I love it because it's super bad, but oh boy, it's extremely bad. I do appreciate that Tumblr celebrates its birthday every year with Happy Threshold Day, and people make a bunch of posts and art and memes about it. It's delightful. But genuinely, real talk, to whoever said that the Voyager episode, The Thaw, was a bad episode, what the hell? It's genuinely one of the best episodes. I'd put it in the top 10. Anyways, but you know, opinions. Taste cannot be disputed on, and all that. It's all good. Anyways, oh yeah, so the other thing that I did this weekend, I baked a cake. Because I had expected, because my dental surgery got deleted, annoyingly, I had purchased in a bunch of things expecting to need to be eating, like, soft foods and not be able to eat solids for, like, a week or so. And it turns out that nope, because I have to wait for another 3 weeks to have my surgery done, which is really, really annoying. Incidentally, I did update my shop recently. In case you want to help me with my unexpected dental bill, I'd really appreciate it. But no pressure, obviously. But feel free to tell your friends. Comes out of work just to say, says Sammy, that is one Voyager episode I never saw. Now it's lunch viewing. I hope you enjoy it. It is scary. Just to warn you, it is creepy and scary, but I think it's really good. Anyways. Now then. But yeah. So I thought I was going to have dental surgery on Friday. It turns out they deleted my appointment by, I don't know how. Somebody goofed. And so I had to rebook it, and so now I'm having it done 3 weeks from now, and my teeth are just going to hurt in the meantime. So hopefully I'm able to keep it in check with ibuprofen, and I don't get too testy, and it doesn't get any worse. But that's the fun that I'm having at the moment. But it did mean that I've been able to eat solid food for the last couple of days, which I didn't think I was going to. And so yesterday I had a hankering to bake a cake. And so you know what I did? I baked a cake. I made a nectarine polenta upside down cake, and friends, it was so good. It's so good. I'd kind of thought like this would be extra like super good if there were some like custard or cream with it, but I did not have custard or cream to go with it. So we just had it in and of itself. Just cooled to room temperature and then sliced up and served, and it was very, very good. It was, in case anyone's wondering, I don't have a link to her YouTube channel, but if you look up, and you've probably heard of her if you watch any cooking videos on YouTube, but if you look up Claire Saffit's YouTube channel, I put her name in the chat. Her most recent video was for a peach cake, and it was basically that. The only thing that I will say, she doesn't tell you how many peaches or nectarines to use. I used 2.5 nectarines, and I really should have used like 3.5, maybe 4. Because I felt like it could have used more fruit than it ended up having in it. But, other than that, it was a really nice recipe. It is a little bit faffy, and you might think to yourself, there's a lot of steps to this recipe, and that's kind of annoying. But I promise you, like, it's worth it. Because at first I was like, oh, I have to pre-cook the polenta in milk instead of just adding the polenta and the milk to the batter. Well, that's annoying. Instead of just slicing up the fruit and sprinkling some sugar on it and sticking it in the bottom of the cake, I have to macerate the fruit in sugar for like half an hour. That's annoying. But it was worth it doing all of those things. What I will say is that, I used about half as much sugar for macerating the fruit as the original recipe called for. It did not need more than that. I also didn't use any lemon zest, and it was fine without it. So, I also used gluten-free flour instead of regular flour. If you are going to do that, use about 100 grams of GF plain flour and about 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. It sounds like I made a lot of changes to the recipe, but I actually didn't. I actually didn't. Thaw is that episode, says, and doesn't Janeway have a magnificent monologue to Janeway? The ending is, I'm not gonna say what happens, because it is excellent. Some very good acting on the parts of, Kate Mulgrew and, the guest star Michael McKean, who is so good as the character that he is. So good. I mean, he's an excellent actor. You know, sometimes an episode of something like Voyager will get a guest star that are just criminally underused. And then sometimes they will be used to absolutely perfect effect. And this is a case where, like, he was perfectly cast and so good in that role. But yeah, Kate Mulgrew is excellent. I'm enjoying her in Prodigy. I've been watching Prodigy, and I'm so sad it ended after 2 seasons. They need to make another one, damn it. Anyways, you measure in teaspoons, asks Rex. I do for things that come in very small amounts, like xanthan gum, yes. I do. And, like, baking powder and stuff. Yes, I use blah. Teaspoons, all the time. Anyways, we are about to run into an ad break, so I will drop a super quick BRB and then continue painting this when we come back. You're not going to miss anything, but enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime. She was Flemeth in the Dragon Age game. I didn't know that. I love that for her. This ancient unknowable being with all the... Oh, she'd be perfect for that. That's awesome. Please enjoy the BRB screen. I will be back very, very, very shortly. I apologize if you see ads. I can't switch them off. I'll be back in a moment. A BRB, everybody. Hello, friends. I'm back. Hello, hello. Lovely to see you. Once again, I just knocked over a box of Warhammer. Don't tell my moderator / spouse. Anyways, Jim Russ was an elf. That feels like a typecast, because he's already played a different character that also has pointed ears. Anyways, for anyone who doesn't know, he played a Vulcan on Star Trek. Anyways, potentially a couple of Vulcans, actually. Anyways, I'm back. Rick says, I'd figured you'd have some kind of little scoop sets, but they'd all be ml instead of teaspoon. They do have milliliters listed on them as well most of the time, but we do also use teaspoons as a measure. Yes. Teaspoon is 5 milliliters. Tablespoon is 15 milliliters. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. So while we were on BRB, my mind, to paraphrase my favorite bit of Leonard Cohen prose poetry, went out on a path the width of a thread and of endless length, and wound up in a situation where I was thinking about, like, when TV shows have really good guest stars and you're like, oh man, it's that guy from that thing, I love him, he's so good at playing that kind of character, right? One of my favorite of Voyager's guest stars, he was a recurring character, played by, and I've never heard him say his last name, so I don't know if it's Brad Dourif or Brad Dourif, but you know the guy. He plays not to go too much into it, but he plays a character named Lieutenant Suter in Voyager, and he's so good at playing these like intense, kind of creepy dudes. And he just gives them such, I don't know, there's such a weight to it. Like, he's really good. I find it, I wonder what it's like being the kind of person who is an actor who's like, who tends to get cast as like creepy dudes. I wonder how you feel, like, how, like, you know, how does that feel? I don't know. I don't know. But he seems to play, of all of the roles that I've seen him in, I know that guy most from the Star Trek, and also he was in this movie Wise Blood, which I really liked him in. He was very, very good in that. And I'm pretty sure, did he not play, like, the creepy, bad, like, King's Advisor guy in Lord of the Rings? I'm pretty sure that was also him, but he was also in, like, a lot of makeup for that, so he's a lot harder to recognize. But it got me thinking about, like, because that character's name is Grima Wormtongue, and it's like, okay, with a name like that, you know that he's, like, the bad guy, right? You know he's giving the monarch terrible advice. You know he's out for his own personal interest and is effing shit up for other people. Or at least he plays that kind of character really well. His style's genuinely, like, so good. I love him. But, like, whenever you have a character who's, like, obviously evil and has it out for, you know, whoever is, like, the King's Advisor, snidely, backstab, Snivel Wormgrim. It's like, okay, you know, like, I don't know, it kind of feels like if I were a monarch and I was, like, looking through CVs for a potential advisor, I would honestly potentially look out for, like, you know, Dastardly Snake Tongue, and be like, you know what, yeah, I would specifically like to interview Dastardly Snake Tongue, because I'm gonna guess that he's probably faced discrimination based on his name, and I don't think that's fair. He could be a perfectly competent and, you know, like, good advisor, and has just not gotten work because of, like, having a name that makes him sound like he's going to betray you. So definitely interviewing that guy. And that might be my downfall as a fantasy monarch, but I feel like it would be worth it because I just feel like I don't know. I like getting to give a chance to people I think might be misunderstood. Anyways, that's what I was thinking about while I was getting myself a bottle of chocolate milk. Ah, shoot, it's chocolate milk. I have to take a lactase pill. 1 second. Oh, no! Curse you, lactose intolerance. Pretzels. Okay. It's medieval painting time. Chat, I'm sorry. Oh no, Sammy broke it. Sammy's back. Hello. Hello, hello. It's okay, I'm not broken. If I was broken, I would be ending stream and not talking. Which happens sometimes. But I'm in good spirits today. I'm feeling pretty alright. Which is nice. And so, to that end, I'm going to start painting in this little section. I'm trying with this piece to work somewhat continuously, like from section to section. So like this little area is kind of a discrete section separated by other colors. And so my aim is to try and kind of do this more or less in one go. That way I hope it will look somewhat more consistent. Because I'm having to use quite a small brush. And so I'm not able to get sort of a nice like evenness of color saturation as I would if I were doing like a big wash with a big brush. But it's also a large enough area and there's enough of it that that it's noticeable, I think, if the color isn't perfectly even. But with that being said, I think, because I was really worried about it the last time that I was working on it last week. And then I kind of decided that once you see it sort of in the grand scheme of the whole piece, and once it has other colors around it, I don't think you're really going to notice any like slight unevenness or inconsistencies or like even seams where I've had to stop painting and then start again, as much as presently my brain thinks that you will, which is good. But still, oh, it's scary. Oh, it's so scary. And this is genuinely really scary because there is a lot of little greebly detail. I could potentially be using an even smaller brush to do this, but I feel like you'd see a lot of like little tiny brush hair strokes, and I would really rather that you didn't. I would like this to be a nice bold field of Hornets Poncho Red and not a collection of little discrete individual brush strokes. That's just not the kind of painting that's not the vibe for this painting, I guess. But this is making me want to do more historic painting styles, unfortunately. I want to do more manuscript-y type stuff, more like illuminated pieces. I would love to do a piece using, now this might not be feasible, but I would love to do a piece using only like pigments and colors that would have been available to painters at the time. This might not be feasible because there are certain pigments and colors that we don't really use anymore because they're kind of toxic. In addition to things that we don't really use because, to be honest, they don't really hold up to, they're not super light fast, so they don't last that long potentially if they're exposed to light. And I like my works to, you know, be of reasonable archival quality. So when I'm selecting, like, when I'm selecting for, you know, when I'm buying paints, like this kind of thing. Where did it go? When I'm buying, like, this kind of thing, I try and pick pigments that are at least very good, if not excellent, on light fast rating. I don't like using fugitive pigments because I figure, you know, like, if I do decide to display this, that color's just gonna disappear in a year's time. What's the freaking point? Not that I really hang my paintings ever, but what if somebody wants to buy an original from me? I don't want it to get all bad for them. I don't tend to sell originals except for I have a tier on my Patreon and my Ko-fi where you get an original sent to you every month. It's just a portrait of a little guy that I think you would think is neat, and they're this big. And I don't have any examples to show you because all of the examples of them that I've done, I think more or less have been posted off to their recipients who bought them. But I guess I can find one on my phone because I will have taken a picture of them. Oh, no, I can't because my Photos app has crashed. Ah, shoot. Hold on. Why is NordVPN open? I'm not using that. This stream is not sponsored by NordVPN. If you sign up to them, I do not get anything for that. I do use them, especially if I'm like away, using unsecured internet in a hotel. I'd rather not. So, hey, VPN unsolicited NordVPN ad. I am not sponsored by them, but I do use it. Anyways, hey Q2, thank you for the hydrate. I'm gonna take a sip of my hot chocolate. No, cold chocolate. Chocolate milk. That's what it's called. God, I'm tired. Okay, yeah, I've just seen it's almost 6 p.m. No wonder I'm making my way to the tiredness wall. Right, let me find a little guy for you to enjoy looking at. What's the last one I did? I've got a lot. I've gone on holiday in the meantime. Ah, here. Okay, this is a strawberry pseudo dragon. Because I painted this in summer and strawberries were in season, so I did a little strawberry pseudo dragon, and that's this little guy. And if you look real closely, there is a little bit of shimmer on their scales. I do like to add a little bit of like something. I'll use a lot of like duochrome paints or like metallics or gold and that kind of thing in the little guy portraits, because I think it's a really fun use of it. Let's see, where's another one? Oh yeah, this was fun. This was just Terry. It's just Terry. You know Terry. It was Terry. Terry, and then some nice metallic gold. It doesn't show up. It shows up better in the video than it does in the video on camera. There's a lot of levels happening here, but yeah, there we go. It's Terry. Yeah. Anyways, that kind of thing. So those are like, oh, also, okay. This was another one that I did that same month. It's Loaxana Troy from Star Trek. Listen, sometimes I know my audience, and I will give my audience exactly what I think they will like, and sometimes that is a portrait of Loaxana Troy from Star Trek. Anyways, I'm also really tired today, says Q2. Oh my god, that's a mood. I hope you were able to avail yourself of some rest. I feel like that is just the state of Mondays. Possibly also the state of like Mondays through Thursdays for me, realistically, and then also to a certain extent Friday through Sunday. Anyways, we know Terry and we love Terry, says Sen, and Terry loves you too. Very much he does. I think it ought to be time to do another Terry painting at some point in the very near future. I'm not sure what. I haven't done all of the rooms in Terry's house yet. I think we could do like Terry wearing one of those little like floppy nightcaps in his little pajimmy jams, like reading a book at bedtime or something. I think would be very, very cute. Just toddling off to dreamland. I think that would be nice, because I haven't done Terry goes to sleep yet. Terry takes a nap. Terry recognizes that rest is productive and it's an important part of the process of being a person. And you need to honor that and be good to your body. Anyways. What was I saying? I forgore. But I'm going to try. And oh, there's some very sharp corners in this piece. I want to get right up into this sharp corner here. And not paint over the bits that don't want to be red. Woof! It's tough! Also because the red is one of the sort of richest, most saturated colors that I'm working with here. I don't want to put red where red doesn't belong, because I'm going to struggle to be able to paint over that, because these paints are transparent. So if I paint over that, you're still going to see it. And if it's not supposed to be there, well, that ain't no good. So here we are. There we go. Okay. Okay. Is it perfect? No, but will it do? Yeah, it's fine. Anyways. Hello. Hekaisha89. Hello, welcome in. Lovely to see you. They say, I want to try and paint with some of the spicy paints, but it's spicy, which makes it harder to use. And again, I guess like chrome yellow, emerald green, cinnabar, cadmium red, cobalt blue, manganese violet. Yep. You can get you can get very nice, I think, sort of hue versions of the spicier, like, old pigments that you probably shouldn't be using, thankfully. And yeah, anything that feels like it's gonna be real expensive, I don't really want to paint with, because, not just like toxicity, but also just it's rare, so it's very expensive. And then there's some more modern pigments that I'm sad about because who, like, they were made by like a single manufacturer makes the pigment and they've stopped making it so any paint manufacturer, any like paint sellers of like watercolors and stuff who were selling quinacridone gold have now had to like reformulate something that looks like Quin Gold, but is made with like a blend of 2 or more different pigments to try and recreate it, because it was made by one manufacturer of pigments whose primary audience is the automotive industry. And it's a gorgeous color for watercolor painting with, but apparently it's not a super popular color for cars. So, anyways. Cold chocolate, says Rex. It is. It's delicious. Not sponsored, but this is a yummy chocolate milk. And also it's on sale at my local supermarket at the moment, so I've been drinking a lot of it. Sammy is in automotive industry. God, it says Q2s. Wait, what? I don't know the first thing about cars, but if I did, I'd paint them in real pretty colors. Paint your car with radium paint, says Hekaisha. No! Don't you do it! Please don't paint your car with radium. Please don't, like, no. No. There was, just the other day I was seeing, I think someone I know had gone to, like, the museum. Can I commission you to paint my car, says Q2s? I mean, honestly, yes, but it would be prohibitively expensive. You'd have to, I assume, cover travel fees to where I live or get your car to where I live. And also I don't know how to do it. So it would be bad. So, like, 0 out of 10 do not recommend doing that. I would sooner recommend you commission me to paint you, like, a watercolor or maybe a gouache painting or something like that. I might even consider an oil painting, but with the caveat that it's not my main area of artistic media, therefore results may vary. Or, you know, like just like a pencil sketch or like an ink pen piece, like with a micron pen or something like that. I would do that. In fact, I do that. I have done that. But you don't want me to paint your car. Well, if you're in Scandinavia, I could drive there. I'm in England, so you would have to drive across the water, unfortunately. But not too far across the water, I don't think. It's not that bad. It's not, I don't know, how far of a swim is it from here to, like, Denmark? It's a super short flight, so. And on the wrong side of the road, says Q2s. That's true. That's very true. Also, yes. Pretty colors in radium paint. I am not working with radium paint. You are not going to trick me into dying. I choose to live. Anyways. I think there's a ferry. It was supposed to open this year. I could drive to Bergen and take a boat there. Yeah, that's true. That is true. You could do that. You can absolutely do that. There is a boat that goes between the two. Someone I know wrapped their card. I mean zebra print duct tapes. Rex. Well, that's a choice. Hi, Dan. Welcome in. Dan says Hornet has signed for Manchester United and is doing keepy uppies on the pitch for the media in her new kit. That's so cute. I would love to draw that. Thank you. Thank you for the terrible drawing time. For any noobs in the chat or any noobs lurking, terrible drawing time is a phenomenon that unfortunately happens on this stream. Where for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept if you're choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas, which currently looks like this. Hello, Sledge. Welcome in. Be nice to chat. Also, hello, darling. I love you. Yeah. I accept no responsibility for any psychic damage that may occur as a result of your terrible drawing. But I promise to try my best. Anyways. Lots of hellos to the moderator/spouse, who I love dearly. We are married. Anyways, I will set 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the clock. Starting in just a moment. Right, now. Where? 5 minutes on the clock. Oh, you can see my reflection. Hi. Hello. Hello, everybody. I do exist. I promise I do exist. 5 minutes on the clock starting now. And did you take their last name, says Q2's? I didn't. What, my moderator/spouse? I didn't. My surname is my own. We are our own surnames, and I did not change it because I would have to change my website URL, and I have a whole bunch of like author credits under my birth name. So Mrs. Spouse. No. I love my spouse, but our surnames are different, and that's okay. You passed on being Sammy Spouse. I know, it's good, but hey, listen. Hornet signed for Manchester United is doing keepy uppies on the pitch for the media in her new kit. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, oh man, this is gonna be real embarrassing, because, like, do I know how to draw sports? No. Am I gonna try? Yeah. First of all, let's draw a hornet who looks like this. More or less. She's happy about it. She's having a great time. Makes sense being previously published. Yeah, exactly. I'll probably end up with a double name. Oh, nice. Love a double barrel. Hornet, you mean Silk Song? Yes, this is Mrs. Skong. According to ChatGPT, it would be a terrible idea to use. Please don't take art advice from ChatGPT. Like, genuinely also don't paint your car with radium, but also don't take art advice from ChatGPT. Just putting that out there. Okay, her poncho now says Man U, and her little foot go kicky, kicky, kick, kick. This is so stupid. She probably shouldn't be holding her, needle so close to the ball, but, you know, I trust that she knows what she's doing with regard to, playing the football, because they did sign her to do the football. So, you know, I assume that, thank you for the hydrate, Eddie, I appreciate it. And thank you also for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely lurk. Having a sip of my chocolate milk. It is delicious, and I like it. Anyways. Lead primer, then radium, then a clear coat. I cannot recommend doing any of those things. I think all of those are bad. I also don't know how to draw footballs, so apologies if this is incorrect. I think it is. Ah, shoot! I think I gave it the wrong number of doodads. Let me just add in another there. Hey, I did it. This does not look like a football. Can I paint my bedroom with radium? Listen, I'm not the boss of you. I would advise that you don't use anything that's, like, actively toxic in your home or around your person or in any way that might impact the environment around you. But also I'm not the boss of you. But, so you don't ask me, can I? Like, can you? Yes. Is it extremely unwise and unsafe and a terrible idea and I wish you wouldn't? I sure wish you wouldn't. So that, like, that's that. Just imagine an entire stadium of footballers chanting, Shaw! There we go. All right, she's doing her little kick of the ball. She's doing her little kick of the ball. She's playing for Man U, and actually, I should probably put her in little footballers shorts because I'm pretty sure that they usually wear shorts, don't they? So she's got shorts on under her poncho. I'm going to shade her poncho in so that you can tell it is a fetching shade of Manchester United red. And oh boy, is it going to be a real pain in the backside when I decide that I want to visit Didsbury because there's a cheese shop there that I like to go to, and I've forgotten there's a match on today, and the tram is rammed because it goes past Old Trafford. Am I remembering back when I used to live in Manchester and sometimes I would not realize that there was a football match on and the tram was horrifying? Yes! That happened to me a lot. Gosh forbid it was a day that like United and City were playing, and just don't leave the house if Man United and Man City are playing against each other. Terrifying. Anyways, I was in a pub in Didsbury on Saturday, says Dan. Oh, nice. I used to really like Didsbury. I did not live near Didsbury, but I enjoyed going to visit it. Anyways, hello friends. Let me catch up with chat because I feel like y'all said a lot of things while I was making this little look at this little kick girl. Look at this little football lady. She's an absolute gosh damn champ. Shaw. I don't know. It's not enough syllables, I think, to work as a football chant. But I also don't know anything about football chants, so that's also a thing. Anyways, let me attempt to catch up with chat at least a little bit, because I feel like I missed a lot there. So I will try and catch up. Anyways, don't paint your bedroom with radium. Don't you do it. Florida's actually making a radium-infused asphalt road, says Rex. It's a test, and it's supposed to be diluted and harmless and much more durable than standard asphalt. I'm pretty sure, though, it's a long study of viability and health for humans in the surrounding area, so it won't be more than this one isolated road for a long time. My goodness gracious. I trust that they have done a significant amount of research to make sure that the material that they're using is, like, inert and safe and is not going to cause problems before going ahead with a pilot project like that. So I guess if it's promising, then great, but also you can understand feeling some kind of way about it, knowing the history of radium. Like I said, someone I follow on Instagram was in like a museum recently, all about sort of the discovery of radium, the research of Marie Curie and all that, and there were ads for like radium makeup, and it's just like, oh no, hindsight, am I right? Like, oh no. Doesn't she canonically go commando, says Hakaisha? According to the sprite sheet, there is indeed, it looks like either she's wearing just like a full black leotard, or she has nothing on under her poncho. It's hard to say. But that being said, oh boy, I loved when they released the sprite sheet for Silk Song. I don't think this is a spoiler. Because you've seen me do this art already, and it was released before the game came out. But where is it? Ah, damn it, where is it? Shoot. This stupid painting that I did. Let me find it real quick. Pardon the fact that I haven't looked at my pile of notifications on Blue Sky. Just ignore that. There it is. Okay. This sprite tickled me so much that I had to make it into a painting. Ta-da! And I also made that painting into a limited edition print. I have a shop. If you're into limited edition Hollow Knight art or anything else that I paint, because I do paint, most of the things I paint aren't actually related to Hollow Knight or Silksong, you can check them out there. It does help pay the bills, and I'm facing a quite substantial, unexpected medical bill at the moment, so every little does help if you feel like it. If you can afford it, please don't put yourself into debt for me. If you can't, it's all fine. And I'm just happy you're here. But I thought I'd let you know. Anyways, The Fall of Man U is an interesting read. I didn't realize that there was one. Again, I know nothing about sports ball, as you can tell. We are experimenting with after hockey places to go that will feed us, says Dan. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, if you've been doing the physical exertion of a hockey situation, you're going to want to get fed when you're done. So hell yeah. I should probably bring my paint palette back if I want to actually be able to paint. There they are. Now you can see my paint colors. Look how beautiful and medieval and stuff they are. Yay. Okay. I dip in my paintbrush. I wet my little well of red paint in the corner here. I make sure that there isn't too much on my brush, because if it's too thick, then it's going to go globby and get all bad. And I would like for it to not get all bad, please and thank you. Anyways. Here we go. Okay. Scary. Medieval, says Makaisha. Makaisha, why isn't she fighting a giant snail then? Oh man, why didn't I paint a giant snail? That's a great question. I mean, it's medieval inspired. It's because I had a really stupid idea one day and it wouldn't let go. And I was like, oh no, I have to do it. And it's because I've mentioned this multiple times on stream, but I will mention it again. It's because I was thinking about, like, dress history, as I do, because it's one of my special interests. And I was thinking about how hornets, like, antlers remind me of specifically the double-pointed hennin, which is a hat that was popular for a period of time many centuries ago. That indeed had, like, two points. And there was often, like, you would often sort of have a veil over it as well. But reminded me of that, so I wanted to do, like, some sort of, like, medieval / fantasy painting inspired by, like, hornet. But I was originally going to do it in somewhat more of an abstract way of drawing, like, a more humanoid character wearing said hennin and, like, a red gown with a big sword and maybe some, like, armory stuff and kind of do it that way. But then I was like, oh, you know what? On the other hand, what if I just do, like, full-on, like, little gremlin guy hornet? And that's how this happened. And, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry at all. Anyways. Rex says, I looked it up again to be sure I wasn't mistaken. It's not radium from nuclear waste facilities. It's apparently medium contaminated phosphorus slag from gypsum mining called phosphogypsum. Okay, so the amount of radium itself is incredibly small and being mixed further with standard asphalt. The idea is a means to strengthen roads and use roads as storage for radioactive materials instead of a pit. Still sus about it, though. I also am sus, but if it works, that'd be really cool. Now I give you a non-stupid idea you want to do. Thank you! I love a non-stupid idea. Much appreciated. Hello, Ernesto. Welcome in, and happy Monday to you, too. I hope you're well. It is wonderful to see you. Hello, hello. I was like, oh man, am I going to finish this painting today? Are we going to get this done today? No. I might not even get done painting in these fiddly red sections today. Absolutely ridiculous. But this is also, this is a lot of fiddly, time-consuming detail for me, who is, you know, bad. Or at least this isn't my usual. If you're familiar with my oeuvre, this is very much baby's first of this genre. I do like to do a lot of tiny details and little bits, but they're often more things like a bookshelf or like a forest. So it's more it's more like a lot of little shapes, but a lot of simpler shapes. Like little doots rather than me having drawn in like elaborate swoops and swirls and what have you. Anywho. So this is taking me a little bit of time. Also, we did cut Thursday's stream short because I was very aware of the fact that there was no one there because everyone was either breaking Steam attempting to download Silksong or playing Silksong if they had managed to download it. So I decided to just like leave because I was like, okay, nobody wants to be here. And you probably would rather be playing Silksong, so I'm just gonna go. So I just did, and that was probably the best choice for me. Anyways, Lux, hello. He says, I was talking to a friend about my new video game, and accidentally typed Silk Dong, and we've been laughing at this concept for days. Oh no! Also, hi. Oh no! That's a very different game. That is a very different game. I suppose you could make a mod where like you just make the needle a rude shape. You just have the needle look like something a little bit rude. Like it's so elegant but also a dog's looks. Yep. Oh no. Heck. I now know what terrible drawing time to request. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I dare not ask, for I wish not to know. Oh no! Chat. I'm scared. I'm so scared, chat. Anyways, oh, okay. Anyways, how is it going? Hope you are doing well. What am I having for? I'm having Hungarian food for dinner tonight, so that's exciting. And when I say exciting, I mean it is a dish of, in my case, gluten-free pasta and cabbage. With lots of paprika. Or as we say, paprika. I'm very excited about it. If you don't have Silk Dong, Rayon Wang will work in a pinch, says Lux. Oh my god. But be sure to dry clean only regardless. SB, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? What an interesting time to come into stream. There is never not an interesting time to come into stream in fairness, but hi. It's very nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Hope you are well. We are making our way through this extremely elaborate border. Why did I do this to... You know, I will often sketch things out, and I enjoy the process of sketching out, like, elaborate things like this, and then I realize that I have to paint it, and I'm like, oh, those are my neurons for the day, says Lux. Yay! Polyester bead! Oh, no. Oh, no. That one is pee-pee for short. Oh, my God. I'm trying to think of examples. I'm trying to think of examples for this. And I'm coming up with not very much. Linen long thin thing. Linen hog. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. What did linen do to deserve this? Oh no. For anyone who doesn't know, linen is my favorite fabric material. I'm wearing a linen shirt right now. Kismet says, does her stabbing things now make her more of a dom? Or, you know? Sure. Anyways, this shirt is linen. Oh no, I got something on my shirt. Ignore that. This shirt is linen. It's very comfy. Anywho's cotton cock. Jesus. Cute. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Just a reminder, chat, this is an adult stream for grown-ups. This stream is not for youngins, as you can tell. By all the chitter chatter about fabric genitals. How did this happen? How is this my life? I don't know. I'm so grateful though. This is delightful. Okay, chat, we reached bottom time to get Sammy out of the gutter. Please help. Because I'm very short. I'm gonna need a ladder. Can somebody send down like a rope ladder or something? But don't like drop the whole thing in, like hold one end at the top. Like attach it to the top so that I can climb out. Taffeta Tallywhacker. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh man, you know what? That's my new drag name. Taffeta Tallywhacker. I like that. That's delightful. Corduroy shirt. Oh god. Ah! Denim dick. Lordy. Okay, yeah. Good. Nylon knob. Too many letters, but nylon knob is punchier. Like that's also good. That's really good. That's really good. Oh man, y'all are knocking it out of the park with the wordplay today. I love to see it. And I'm sure the makers of medieval manuscripts would love it too. Spandex shaft. It never ends. It never ends. There's so many good ends. Anyways, older viewers might remember there's that one medieval era illustration of like a nun just harvesting willies off of a tree. I don't know why. Wool Willy! Wool Willy. You're welcome. Lord. Wooly Willy! Yeah, exactly, Dan. Same brain. We're in the hive mind. We are as one. And I brought it back to Star Trek. Alright. Anyways. I'm sorry. I am so much in my, like, Trek era again at the moment. It feels really good, though. Because I love it. And it makes me happy. Anyways. I'm planning to do, basically, attempt to productivity hack myself. Because I really want to make myself a new 18th century shirt. So my plan to do it is to just make myself do it for the duration of rewatching an entire episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And do that every day until it's done. Why does this work so well since Rex? I don't know, but it's great. It's great. I'll tear a nut on your... Oh no, Lugs! So sorry for the Neelix reference, not the smut. Listen. Neelix had some really good episodes of Voyager, I think. Anyways, I haven't actually rewatched Voyager in a very, very long time, but I'm right about that one episode. I am right about that one episode that someone said was one of the worst episodes, or was like the best bad episode, because that episode is genuinely just really good. And listen, you know, like, in matters of taste, there can be no dispute. You may disagree with me, but I may also disagree with you. So, there. Anyways. Oh, no. Do you mean the salamander one? The one where they're like the things and they have the babies? Because we talked about Threshold Day earlier. That is still bad. That is still bad. Okay. Anyways, I realized, did I just spoiler that one? I don't care. That show's been out for 30 years. No Silk Song spoilers, but if we're talking about the Paris one sucked. I think honestly, I think the character who has like the worst, like they are the focus of this episodes is Chakotay. I'm thinking specifically the only one that I can actually remember, because they're all super forgettable, is the one with like the weird, like he's having dreams about boxing. It's just it's so boring. It's so boring, and I feel so bad for that man. They did nothing with that character. He was just like a nothing character. He could have been such an interesting, like, counterpoint to the captain, an interesting first officer, and they're just like, yep, that guy's there. Okay. Unfortunate. But so it goes. Anyways. The alien sleep thing where he sees Earth's moon, I do not remember. It's all, I really need to rewatch it. It's all a blur. Anyways. Is this like an I've hit a certain age thing where, like, I'm just so excited that I get to have cake tonight. I'm so excited that I get to have cake tonight. It is the leftovers of my polenta and nectarine cake, which I mentioned earlier. It's so good. It's so good. Just YouTube that recipe. It's gorgeous. The Seska stuff early on was great. That was great. That was delightful. She was fun. They also went nowhere with the indigenous stuff except as a plot device. Yeah, they didn't do anything with that man at all. As soon as, like, his evil ex-girlfriend just, like, went away, like, that was kind of it for him, and it's quite a shame. It is quite a shame. But, so it goes. There's always writing your own fan fiction. And I'm sure... Actually, I don't know if he's a popular fan fiction character, because I have not read any fan fiction for that show. But, oh, man, yeah, when they tried to... there was, like, a meme going around, Blue Sky a few days ago that was, like, a 0 out of 10 ship, as in, like, character ship on, like, TV or film or whatever. And absolutely, when for some reason a 7 of 9 and Chakotay get together on Voyager, that was so stupid. Like, that, like, it's almost as if they're like, we need something for this. We've been completely neglecting that this man exists on the show for, like, 6 years. We need something to do with him. Let's give him a girlfriend who's available. Here's a woman. Which was a disservice to both of their characters because it came out of nowhere and it made no sense. And they have nothing in common and no chemistry, and, like, Janeway is right there. She could have dated 7 of 9, I'm just saying. But no. Hetero nonsense. I blame Rick Berman. Because he's also the reason that Garak was only a subtextually gay as Christmas. Over on the space station. Anyways. Fuck Rick Berman. Yes. I agree, Lux. I wholeheartedly agree. 7 and the Doctor. They had good chemistry together. They were really cute. Like, what? Anyways, sometimes TV producers make decisions that I think are stupid. Yes, but Andrew Robinson played Garak perfectly. He's my boy. He's my homeboy. He's my fave. I love him. Do I have that sketch that I still haven't painted? Because I feel like painting Star Trek fan art on stream is too much for some of y'all. So I haven't done it, but I have somewhere somewhere in this studio, I think. Unless, is it in the, it might be in the, ah, shoot, it might be in the other room. Hold up. Hold up. I need a minute. I need a, God damn it. I think it's in the other room. Okay, but I can show you this. I painted this while I was on holiday. I was inspired by Frog and Toad. Because I think they have a very Frog and Toad vibe. Anyways, they're dating. The end. Jute Johnson! Oh, that's a good one. I like that. That's fantastic. Delightful. I'll never forgive for what they did to Dax. Poor Terry Farrell. She deserved so much better. She's so lovely, and she was so good. And she also just seems like a really nice person. So yes, I wholeheartedly agree. For terrible drawing time, can I request a Silk Song character? Maybe. Is it something that appears super early in the game and I can draw it and it doesn't give anything else away about the stuff? That sounds like an Arizona sheriff. Yes, Jute Johnson. It really does. Okay, in that case, Q2s, I think I can make an allowance for it. Also, I will be drawing it from memory and I will probably get it wrong because I haven't spent a lot of time with these characters yet. So it will be non-spoilery in as much as I will probably draw it inaccurately. Which is the best possible way to do it. So I'm gonna go with sure, just based on that. Is it Hornet? Nice. Yes, perfect. Anyways, but thank you for asking as well. Rex says, I bet you can guess which adorable one it is. I don't know. Jute Johnson sounds like a detective to me. A private dick, says Dan. Oh my god. God, yes! That's amazing. Okay, I'm going to do the terrible drawing time in just a second. I want to finish painting this area as quickly as I can. Just because, as I think I mentioned earlier, I am trying to paint it like one sort of area / section at a time so that it doesn't end up getting all bad and we end up with like weird seams and blotches and that kind of thing, which we're going to have anyways, but if I can minimize them at all, I would love to. So I can see that the paint's kind of thickening. I need to wet it down a smidge so it flows a little bit more. And just go all the way out to there. Okie dokie. If the paint is too thin, then it goes on a little too transparently, but if the paint is too thick, then it tends to miss spots, which is also super bad. So trying to maintain that balance is turning out to be a fun challenge for me, but I think that's okay. I think it's okay. Ah, shoot. Ads are trying to run. I'm gonna snooze ads this time, such that we can do terrible drawing time. Anyways, it is female secretary Kitty O'Brien. I love it so much. Anyways, we have a terrible drawing time of Sherma summoning cold chocolate with his song. Okay, I can try. Here's the thing. I do not. Do I remember what Sherma looks like? Very vaguely. But, like, so vaguely. For anyone who's come in since the last terrible drawing time, it is a phenomenon that happens on this stream for some reason, where for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas, which is incoming. I'm coming, says the canvas. Here she is. And she's so sorry. But I shall try my best. I mean, alternating, I would have requested alternatively, I would have requested Silk Dong. I don't know where that falls on the TOS, so it's probably for the best that you didn't. I don't know how I would do that in, like, a work-safe way, so I'm gonna pop Lil Sherma over here, and I'm gonna try and remember what Sherma looks like, but I'm probably gonna get it wrong. So I remember, I think they have a little hat. And then they've got a little face under their hat, which is like, just like this. Hello. I think they've maybe got like a little hood on or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, or don't correct me until I'm done, that is to say. Because, and then they've got their little musical instrument. They're sort of, they're like hitting, I don't know. I can't remember what their musical instrument thing looks like, so they're just hitting like a pair of spoons together here. They're just hitting together a pair of spoons, tap, tap, tap. And that is, and that's gonna have to be good enough. I think I'm gonna give them a little round body, and maybe they're wearing a cloak. I'll give them a little cloak too, because I think it's cute. And some little stripies on their little body, because I think it's cute. Color in their little arms like so. And if I can just, yeah. Just do some strategic erases. We will do a comparison to the real Sherma when we're done. If you saw my Friday stream, or you've played like an hour of the game, you will probably have met them. I can't remember what their pronouns are. But my pronouns are them, so they can have thems too. Okay, there's supposed to be a little picture of a cow on this little bottle of chocolate milk, but I don't think you can tell it's a cow, but never mind. And they've got some musical notes around them as well, just so it feels like they're singing a song. There we go. Okay, yay. I'll color in this thing, get a little bit of shading here and there as appropriate. And under their chin and their little cloak here. I'll give them little darker legs. I think, is their tummy darker than their cloak, or is their cloak darker than their tummy? I don't know. They're smashing their spoons together though, and they're making a little song. And that is that. Here they are. Please focus. Please focus. Please, for the love of gosh, focus. There they are. Yay. Okay, let me pull them up on screen if I can. One moment, please. Okay. So, mild spoilers ahead for one character very early in Silksong, which you will have seen if you have seen me playing it on stream. So just, if you do not want to be spoiled at all, beware spoilers beyond this point. But very minor, and yeah, there they are. Okay, there they are, and there's mine. Oh no, my camera's dead. Oh no, I think my camera just died again. Shoot. Heck. I think this might be the first terrible drawing time that restored psychic damage. Oh, jeez. Thank you. But also, I think my camera just kicked the bucket. I'm gonna try unplugging and replugging and see if that helps. There's the timer. Oh no. Oh no. Tells us boop boop. Thank you for the boopers. Baby. This very, very bestest voice is cuties. They're so stinking cute. Little tiny baby boy. The camera is dead. That's great. We're about to run into ads. I would like the camera to work before that. You're gonna see Elgato for a second. Sorry. No. Okay. Okay, I put back the... Yay! All right, we're back. We're back here. Here, then, friends, if I can get it to focus in. There they are. There's mine. And I hope it's okay. And there's the real one. And there's mine. I tried. I think I did okay, considering I had to remember it. It's about to do ads. So, I'm gonna pop on the BRB. I will be right back. Enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime. I will see you very shortly. You're not gonna miss anything. BRB, everybody! Woo! Okay, I'm back. But I think the camera might have pooped its pants again. So, yeah, the camera's pooped its... Oh, man, I'd gotten it back, and now it's poopy again. Shoot. Okay, hold up. I don't know why it's doing this. Just every once in a while it decides to... Usually about 2 hours into stream. I heard more... You heard the little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, that'll be why. But we are back. And hopefully it holds up until the end of stream. If it... to be honest, at this point, if it stops working, I'll probably just end it there. Sounds like overheating, says Hekaisha. My computer is not that warm, though. I think possibly my USB plugs might be... getting a bit finicky. I think possibly it might be a case of USB finicky. Or the camera's overheating. It feels very ambient or potentially slightly warm, but not super... Like, what is a concerning temperature? If it feels like blood temperature, I would say it's no warmer than my hands. So it's possible, but I don't know what a concerning temperature is. I will... The camera was bequeathed to me from my moderator/spouse, so maybe I'll ask him to have a look when I'm no longer stremming. Anyways, say hello to this red paint. I don't remember what the name of this red paint is in English. It is somewhat common for some cameras to overheat. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Sometimes they just, if you go on too long, they're like, all right, you need to take a break because I need to take a break, okay? I feel that. The absolute worst is, it wasn't a case of overheating, but I know, that happens. I think it just crashed. Like, the application just crashed. I was filming a talk to camera piece for a YouTube video, and I think I had just been talking continuously for about 30 minutes, and it crashed like 3 minutes in, so I had to film that entire thing again. By the way, youtube.com/Sammy Kelch is my channel, where I post videos about stuff every couple of months. You will not be inundated with notifications from me because I do not make videos on a frequent or regular upload schedule, but when I do, they're very special to me and I hope you enjoy them. I'm working on one right now that is about dairy products. Because I'm normal and I really hope you'll enjoy it when it is done. Okay. I'm having an interesting time finding a balance between making sure that there's enough paint on my brush and making sure there isn't too much paint on my brush. You need a real Goldilocks amount for this. Good Lord. I hope it's not getting progressively worse the more of this that I do. I don't know. Anyways. Oh no, you are just a red shirt and weekly schedule away from... You are just a red shirt and weekly schedule away from fame and fortune. I'm not sure about the fame and fortune, and oh boy, if I could maintain a weekly upload schedule, I would love to do that. I do look good in red. But, I am actually planning on making a video wherein I make a red shirt. but it's mostly using the medium of content to hold myself publicly accountable for actually completing a project. But that is a tangent moving away from Rex's reference. But yeah. If I could maintain a weekly upload schedule, I would love to do that. I've got so many, I've got like quite a few video ideas and like half-written scripts in the bank that I just, because unfortunately I have other things I have to do in my life outside of streaming and making videos and stuff. Actually, if I had like significantly fewer obligations within the rest of my life that I have to take care of on the reg, I would be putting out probably a video at least every month, if not every other week. But at the moment, I just don't have time. And then it's a case of like, because I can't afford things like nice lighting and good, like better filming equipment, I kind of have to schedule when I film stuff for when, like, there's good ambient light from my window, and it's really hard to do that, and oftentimes I've failed at that because it just ain't gonna happen for me. So I just have to get on with it and do it and accept the fact that the lighting's gonna suck because good lighting costs money that I don't have. Good locations cost money that I don't have. Yeah. I have on more than one occasion been like, oh man, I really wanted to film today, but, like, the lighting is garbage. So I can't, which is really frustrating. But here we are. Anyways, but yeah, please enjoy the videos that are up there thus far, and consider subscribing if you have not, and you would like to see more goofy gubbins from me, where I take you on a journey you didn't know that you wanted to know about. Some of it gets pretty fun, I think, depending on your definition of fun, I suppose. I've got some interesting things in the pipeline. If you like bread, if you like dairy products, if you like public transit, type fonts, the humble shirt, I might have some things for you in the pipeline. Film the same bits for like 6 times from night to bright and sunrise and sunset, then edit it so each sentence is at a drastically different time of day, says Rex. Oh my god, yikes. Also, Rex is lurking to go home. Have a lovely lurk, and thank you so much for hanging out. That would be so stinking weird. I mean, I have had videos where I started filming, and in the process of filming, because I went on for like a couple of hours in the afternoon, and it was the winter, that by the time I finished, the sun had gone down, and at some point I had to go from like, okay, so, you know, like nicely sunlit through to it's getting a little bit dimly lit in here, through to it is total darkness outside and I've had to put on a lamp, which is always a fun time. Anyways, but whatevs. I do think that as time goes by, my videos are getting better and better. And I do have fun making them. I'm having a slightly insane time with my research journey for my current one, because I keep finding pieces of information being like, oh, that's really interesting, and then forgetting to bookmark said interesting information, and then when I go back to find it again, I find a website that gives me like completely contradictory information on the topic, and I'm like, wait, which one of these is true? What? You finish recording your videos in one day? Jinkies, says XB. SB, I try to film at least the bits where I'm sitting or standing and talking to camera in one sitting, like for just so I don't have to do it again. But if I'm doing something active like cooking or doing a craft or something like that, I will probably film that on a different day. I'm hoping to find somewhere in this house Somewhere in this house we have like a little lav mic, I think. So I am hoping for my next video to do a little bit of filming on location, which in general terrifies me. Because the idea of like standing out somewhere in public and people seeing me like filming myself on my camera, no, the self-consciousness being stared at or people being weird about it, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. No. I tried, and no, I was so self-conscious, I couldn't do it. But I'm hoping to be in a location where I don't expect to run into too many people. Just watch me think that, and there will be like 24 people walking their dogs in the exact area that I'm trying to film for this. I don't want to tell you where I'm planning to film because I don't want to spoiler it. But yeah, I'm so scared. Even in this like fairly quiet, fairly not very much footfall of a location that I'm going to be continually interrupted by people like walking past. Vlogging in public. No. SB, no. Absolutely terrifying. I think if there were like a second person like holding a camera and filming me talking, I feel like that's a different thing because then at least you're not like alone. But if I'm just holding out my camera and just doing like talking to myself effectively, no. And also, no. So scary. That is genuinely the stuff of nightmares. There was one time when I was in when I was at a station in like a public transit light railway station in London, and I filmed myself making a terrible joke. And I posted it. There was no one but my partner and I on the platform at that point because it was a quiet station at a quiet time of day. And I think possibly like the previous train had just been. So there was like nobody there. So I filmed myself making a stupid joke, and I posted that joke to Instagram on a day when I didn't have anything interesting to post. And that is the most viral thing that I have ever put on Instagram. And it was just me sweaty and exhausted in London making a terrible, terrible joke. I feel like this is starting to futz with the brightness on the camera. Like it wants to blow out the white portion, I think. Which is mildly annoying. But hopefully that'll go away once we start adding the rest of the colors to it anyways. I wouldn't mind being someone's cameraman, but by myself out there, I'd be sweating profusely, says SB. Absolutely terrible. Gotta go to your Instagram now, I guess, says Q2s. I could post a link to the specific Instagram reel of whence I speak, if I can find it. It's from a couple years ago, but if I go to my Reels tab, maybe I can find it for you. I don't know if I'll be able to play it with audio on here, but, I can potentially show you my most popular and genuinely terrible... It's not even in portrait. It's in... Oh, that's not it. That's a different reel of me on the... Oh, here it is. Yeah, 17,000 views, 1,600 likes. That's small potatoes for a lot of people I know, but that's a big potato for me. And it's not even anything of any use. Here you are. I have posted the reel in chat, if you want to see it. The algorithm takes something, not the landscape reels. You want to know why? You want to know why sometimes the reels be in landscape? Because sometimes I film things not with the intention of posting to my social medias. I just filmed it because, and I don't like videos that are in portrait generally. I'm not a huge fan of that as a genre. That joke was so terrible, says Q2s. I know. I know, and it's my most popular content on the whole internet. By a significant margin. Why? Why? I don't know, but here we are. Anyways. I can tell you right now, for real, my paintings never get that many views. Actually, I would say my engagement on Instagram is absolutely in the toilet now. It is absolute boo-boo garbage. Pivot to comedy, says Q2's. Oh no, I could not be a comedian. I am too delicate. Like, it would be bad if I decided to go into comedy as like a career. I can tell you right now, my mental health would tank. Would absolutely tank. The idea of like monetizing just straight ahead having to be funny all the time. My mental health would not survive. And even just being like, pair your art with dad jokes is cute too. Like, I can't do it. But also, as someone who, sort of grew up with undiagnosed neurodivergence and, did get bullied, I also find myself in the unenviable position of sometimes I'm just not sure, and you can't refute this and say, like, no, that's not true. That, like, I can't tell if people are laughing at me because I did a good comedy joke or if people are laughing at me because they're making fun of me. And I'm just, like, cringe and embarrassing. And they just think I'm, like, stupid and cringe. Because guess what? Less so, I think, in adulthood, but when I was in my formative years, where all of the associated traumas formed what has now become my personality. A lot of the time they were making fun of me, so it's like, oh no, everyone's not secretly making fun of you. It's like, well, I have precedent for that, so the fact that I can believe it's possible is because it has been. Anyways, thank you for the posture check, Q2s. I'm gonna do a little stretchy stretch, and I'm gonna take a sippy of my tea, which is strawberry and pomegranate. Absolutely delicious. Hell yeah, super yummy. Anyways, let me catch up with chat. Enough about Sammy's traumas. Aspie says, the way I have my phone recording above my table, I have to remember to make sure the orientation is correct each time. Oh no! Once I forgot and realized that it had been recording upside down, at least it can be fixed in post. Fun fact, I actually had to flip this around, because it is also, this is upside down. I had to, like, flip the camera view upside down for you to be seeing this, not the other way around. Yep. Anyways. Being unintentionally bad cringe is one of my worst nightmares, says Aspie. I feel like to a certain extent I'm kind of over it right now. Like, I may be cringe, but I am free. That's kind of how I feel about it. But on the other hand, the idea that, like, a bunch of people are like, oh, they're so embarrassing, is horrifying. But on the other hand, like, I'm if people think that my interests are cringe, that's a them problem. Because I enjoy the things that I like, I'm passionate about the things that I like, and I like liking them. It feels good. So, like, I don't care. Like, for that. It's more the deception of thinking that you have, like, people's approval, and it turns out that actually you don't. That they're actually making fun of you. That scares the crap out of me. Because that's such a I think it's the feeling of, like, yay, acceptance, and then, like, belatedly realizing that actually you were not accepted, you were entirely being bullied, is just the worst feeling. It is absolutely awful. And so I think it is a different experience for people who've had that experience, when folks are like, no, you know, like everyone genuinely likes you, you know, and you, nobody secretly hates you, and it's all in your head. It's like, okay, but I know for a fact that there have been times when it wasn't all in my head, and it turns out that people didn't like me, and they were like trying to signal this to me, and I didn't know until later, and felt like sadness and betrayal because I thought they were my friends, and it turns out that they like secretly hated me. Come on. Thank you. Okay. I don't have a follow age thing set up. I don't know how to do it. I'm sorry. But anyways, yes. That's a crappy thing to live through. But also it's part of the reason that sometimes affirmations and assurances like that kind of just make it feel like I'm gaslighting myself, because it's like, I can't believe that the thing that you're telling me is impossible because I've experienced it. So I know it's possible. Come on. Come on. It is really brightening those whites. September 30th, 2024 says QTubes. There you go. Yay. Almost 1 year. Yay. Congratulations. Thank you for hanging out with me. That's rad as heck. Anywhoosins. But yeah, so that's that. Sorry to dwell on a less than cheerful topic. But sometimes it's important to acknowledge them, I think. To sit with our feelings. And to make sure that they know that they are valid. Okay. That'll do, I guess. Okay, yay. Anyways. Oh man, it's just... really wants to blow out the white, and I wish it wouldn't. Stop doing that. Thank you. Jeez. Jinkies. Every time I look away and I look up, it's like, haha, do you want the white sections of this painting to just be completely invisible? And no, I don't, actually. Like, I really don't. Stop it. Anyways. I was kind of hoping that we'd get further through the making of this painting, than we have. We haven't even finished the red section. Like, damn. That's less than I thought. Alba, hi! Welcome in! It's lovely to see you. Hello, hello. Having had that happen recently after thinking someone for a long time didn't like me, and finally having that actually confirmed has made me realize two things. Oh, geez. Number one, if I get a vibe like that, to just trust it. And two, if someone has a problem, just say it. Don't do this weird in-between thing. I wholeheartedly agree. If someone has a problem with you, they can just, like, not hang out with you or whatever. Like, they don't have to be weird about it. They don't... It's just... it's less cool to just be like... it's just whatever. Anyways, on the other hand, I can't imagine anyone not liking you because you're great, and I'm so glad to know you. Genuinely. I was just in my 3rd therapy session, says SB. Hell yeah, it's good to talk about how you're feeling. Feelings are important and good. Sen says, hey Alba. I already said hey Alba, but also hi again. You're awesome. But also, yeah, sometimes it's just good to, if you get a vibe, it's probably for the best to trust that vibe. Because... especially if you've had to attune yourself to vibes, if you generally have that kind of awareness, your vibes are probably right. You know? Elvis says, kind words, my only weakness. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but also, I'm not going to takesy backsies it, because it's true. Anyways. But yeah, that's a weird thing about, like, trusting vibes, trusting your gut on things. If you have a gut feeling about something or someone, sometimes the gut feelings can be proven wrong. Sometimes the gut feelings can change. But if you meet someone and you get a feeling like, the vibes are off here. I feel like this person is not sincere in their intentions, or I feel like this person is trying to exploit this interaction, or this person is being too nice, or this person doesn't seem super interested. You know? Those are good vibes to trust. And sometimes it's a shame that, like, a lot of communication isn't so direct that you can know that. And I mean, that's, you know, in part just kind of a part of, like, human politeness. But so it goes. Anyways. Yay! This color is so It is really weird to me that this color is showing up like a warmer, more almost orange red than it is in real life, because it's kind of a cool blue toned red. I don't know how, like, the reason that the cameras, but I think generally a lot of digital cameras really struggle with getting reds right. I don't know why. Okay, Hakaisha also points out an important distinction, which is that sometimes your gut feeling is just the need to poop. Yep, absolutely. Sometimes if you're feeling just all around really lousy, like your back hurts and you're kind of sluggish and something is wrong and you can't quite put your finger on what it is, consider, have you had enough fluids today? Have you had enough water? When's the last time you drank water? And number 2, have you done a number 2 today? Because you might just need to poop. And that has been known to have quite the effect on my general sense of well-being from time to time. I'm just like, man, I feel absolutely I have to go to the bathroom. Or it's like, man, my head hurts and I'm so depressed and I'm sluggish and my brain isn't working properly, and I'm like, oh, when's the last time I had anything to drink? I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea. And then I drink a cup of tea and I feel fine. I'm like, oh. Next question. Do you feel a vague sense of unease and discomfort? Have you been sitting in the exact same position for more than an hour? Because it's probably time to stretch and maybe do a bit of a shift and change position for a while. But yeah, some people do indeed fail their vibe checks. Yeah. And you know, like, vibes aren't always correct. Sometimes someone passes the vibe check and then it turns out that, oh no, the vibes were deceptive. That's how it goes. Dan says, my dad always says, if you feel unwell, have a poop, a bath, and a sleep. One of those will always fix it. I mean, I'm assuming that your dad isn't an accredited medical doctor, but honestly, that is often the case. When's the last time you showered? When's the last time you did a business? Have you had enough rest? These things are very important. And I would genuinely also add, like, when's the last time you drank any water to that? Because I do find, and especially the older I get, the crappier I feel if I haven't had enough to drink in a day. I will oftentimes, I don't know if anyone else does this, but oftentimes when I'm traveling, if I'm going to be, like, out and about on it, he's a doctor, oh, no way! Amazing! Then he definitely knows, and he's right. That's amazing. Of philosophy. Oh my god. Dan! I mean, also good. Also good. Oh, man. You know, technically, I studied a lot of, like, philosophers when I was an academic, but I technically only took one course in, like, the philosophy department when I was a student. And the thing I remember most about it is this, and this is going back about a gazillion years, so apologies if I get any details a little bit off. But I wrote a paper that was effectively clapping back at, there was a guy, his name was Benjamin Whorf. Not, it's spelled differently to the one from Star Trek. But he had this theory about language that was just so, I feel like it's the kind of thing that sounds really profound um if you're like 17 years old and you've just been smoking a lot of the weed pot and someone says this to you, you might be like, "Oh my god, that's so deep. Wow." But like virtually only under those circumstances. Um this may be because I'm someone who's also studied like language and linguistics. But he had this whole deal, and I don't know if he was smoking a bunch of the weed pot when he came up with this, but um he had this thing where he studied some languages, and he came to the conclusion that effectively, like, for people who speak different languages, like their reality is different. Like, it's not just that they have different words to conceive of, say, the passage of time, because their verb tenses don't work in the same way as English, but like they experience a different timeline or something to like other people. And I'm like, no, no, buddy. No, that's goofy. There was also a certain element of like, ooh, sort of the exoticism of the essential specialness of like, ooh, look at these mystical indigenous peoples and how like time works differently for them because like their verb tenses don't directly translate to the way that verb tenses work in English. And it's like, no, no, they can still, no. They're not occupying like an alternate universe just because their verb tenses are worded differently. That's like, language, I think, is very powerful in terms of how we conceive of things and how we conceive of ourselves and our world and our culture. And culture has a very, profound impact on language, and the language we use has a profound impact on, sort of our understanding of the world around us, ideologies, yada, yada, yada. It's why you have things that I find genuinely worrying, like, like huge groups of people who are so used to the like self-censoring language of certain social media apps where supposedly, certain words are not allowed. Like, you can't say die, you have to say unalive, that kind of thing, and just normalize saying that in real life. Seeing like university professors having people use words like unalive and other like euphemistic terms for like bad phrases is kind of really scary that you're just willing to go ahead and like self-censor your thoughts in that way. Just because it's not allowed on an app doesn't mean that it's like a bad word that you can't say in real life, Like, unalive sounds like murder. Yeah. But it's just like, it's a stupid thing. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. You can say someone died. You can just say that. Like, that's a thing that happens. It's part of the life cycle, is that things die. And the fact that, like, there are genuinely people out there who are scared to use that word even outside of the apps where they think it's not allowed. I don't even know whether that's the case or if that's just like an urban legend. I don't know. But it genuinely makes me so distressed that people just like translate this into, like I said, university professors having like people use these euphemistic terms because, like, I don't know, it's just so normalized for them that, like, oh, I can't use the real word for that. It's like, why not? Like, what's gonna happen if you do? Die. Like, whatever. Like, what about homophones of that word? Like, what about I'm dyeing my hair? I'm talking about using, like, what if I'm talking about, like, dyeing a piece of wool? Hey, chat, I got my hands on some woad and I'm gonna dye this wool blue. What do I say for that? Like, no, get in the bin. You can use words. How did I get onto this topic? Oh yeah, the intersections of language and culture. But I think having restricted language in some ways can very much be used in insidious ways by, you know, powerful people as, say, I don't know, losing access to useful words can be a tool of control, of oppression of certain ideas, potentially. And this may sound hyperbolic, but maybe it's not. And so I think seeing that kind of thing as a trend, I find really unsettling and uncomfortable. As someone who, again, has the privilege of a university degree where I studied a lot about the intersections between language and culture and how they influence each other. Such things worry me. Anyways, but here we are. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here for today, and then pick up, hopefully finish. Okay, so we did like this much today, so I figure we can finish the red and maybe add some other colors next time. I was really hoping I'd be finished today. I was like, oh, maybe I'll start a new painting next Thursday. No, I don't even think we're gonna finish this on Thursday. We're probably gonna have to come back to it this time next week also. But I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. I'm just gonna shout out my own shop because I'm really bad at self-promoting. But I've got a lot of really cute stuff in there. I just did an update. There is a kiwi bird that's a little adventurer. He's got a hat and a sword, and he's really, really cute, and he's a sticker. I also have some good queer stuff, some pride flaggy stuff, some cryptids, some public transit stations. Basically, I have no niche. My niche is I have ADHD, and I can't pick a single subject to be the thing I make art about, so you're stuck with like an unmarketable hodgepodge of whatever the hell makes me happy on any given day. And I hope you like it. This is Hornet Silksong Shaw. That's her full name. There, finally, she's in focus. Look at her. I love her so much. I think this border is coming along pretty nicely. Hopefully it doesn't look too sort of blodgy. Hopefully it sort of looks even enough and okay and will do when all of the other colors are filled in. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get to it. I need to figure out how I'm going to do the colors of these swirls, because I want to do some blue and some gold, I think, for the swirlies. I think that'd be nice. We've got some of these flowers are blue, some of these flowers are white, and then there's some greenery down here, and then there's a tiny little tick. I don't know what I'm going to do about coloring in the letters, except the background of the S is going to be gold, and there's going to be some other gold accents throughout the piece. Hornet is obviously going to be hornet colored. We'll do that next time. So I'm going to find someone for us to raid. I'm going to take a look and see who we not raided recently, who we can go say hello to. Many thanks to everyone for being super cool. Not spoiling Silksong. I knew you wouldn't. And thank you also for for all the fun times. Let's see who's online, who I haven't raided recently. And thank you again to Sammy and to Jam for the raids. I assume they're off taking care of themselves and doing all that good stuff now, which is a good. Okay, yay, it's loaded. I want to go say hi to some. Yeah, let's go say hi to some art. Let's say. Okay. Let me check and see. I like to try and check and see that the person that I'm about to raid isn't like about to finish. So let me just check that they're not just about to finish. If they're like 5 hours in, then it's probably not a good chat. Okay. Who is live? We haven't said hi to. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Please don't be about to finish, because we haven't rated them in a little while. That'd be nice. Okay, yeah, let's say hi to Pop. Pop is cool. Pop is fun. Pop is doing something neat. And I'll be back on Thursday continuing this artwork, so I hope that's a good time for you. I'm going to use one of my new emotes because I made new emotes toward the end of last week, and I am ever so fond of them. And I hope you like them too. If I can get the where's the damn jeez, where's the dang, I can't see him. Oh no. Oh no. Where did it go? I can't get it to load. Oh no, it's broken. I genuinely, my emotes like panel is not loading. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna run out of time. I'm just gonna have to just say generic grade message. Just say generic grade message because my computer's pooping itself. And it's gonna auto kick us into the raid if I don't leave. So goodbye everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back on Thursday. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Good night and good luck.